Hi everybody, this is Paul Grotemont from ITS, and we're going to do an online presentation encore of something we presented for WebPub Lunch last month. This is an introduction and update on the UT Drupal Kit version 2.0, which is due for release in November of this year. Our agenda today, we're going to do a brief intro and background on what the UT Drupal Kit is and what this new version is about. And then we're going to jump right into a live demo with Mike Marcello and Mark Fulmer, who are two of the developers on the Drupal Kit team. And then we'll talk a little bit about additional features to come later in the Managed CMS service. So what is the UT Drupal Kit? The UT Drupal Kit is a custom Drupal distribution intended for use by developers to build branded, accessible, public-facing websites at the University of Texas at Austin. If we look at a few words in particular in this slide, I'm going to focus on the words Drupal distribution, which means that we have built this software in the form of a Drupal distribution, which is a particular way of packaging Drupal core with contrib modules from the Drupal community and custom code, in our case a custom theme and some tools for drag and drop page building. Intended for use by developers. The UT Drupal Kit is really a tool meant for Drupal developers. It is not for non-technical users. That is something that we'll be addressing later next year with the Managed CMS service. And then public-facing websites, I just emphasize that to point out that that's really the sweet spot for the Drupal Kit, is to build public-facing websites, not so much for building applications or things that require authentication. If we look back at UT Drupal Kit 1.0 version, that was something that we produced as part of the Drupal Foundation project earlier in 2015, and the goal of the Drupal Kit as an idea, as a service, was to provide a standardized base distribution for campus Drupal developers. Like I said, it was originally released in January of this year. It includes Drupal 7 core, over 50 contrib modules from the Drupal community, a UT login module that was developed here at ITS for site owners to be able to use the UT login web policy agent for authentication on a Drupal site. But this 1.0 version of the Drupal Kit did not include a UT branded theme or the content templates, which folks have been waiting for as part of the deliverables from the Digital Experience project since 2014. For version 2.0 of the UT Drupal Kit, it's going to include two major new pieces. The first is the 40 Acres theme, which implements the new UT branding, and a custom module called Page Builder. These two pieces work in tandem to create a unified page building experience for content editors. Out of the box, this system includes content types for what we call standard pages and landing pages. There are 11 distinct page templates between those two different content types, a collection of content widgets that can be placed on a page, and then a drag and drop page layout tool is integrated into Page Builder to allow you to customize the layout of each page easily. Extensive documentation is going to be available to help Drupal developers in customizing or extending the Page Builder experience by such tasks as creating new templates for the included content types, or even by creating new content types and using the Page Builder system by adding unique templates to those content types. And again, Drupal Kit 2.0 is scheduled for release in November of 2015. As I stated earlier, the UT Drupal Kit is really intended for experienced Drupal web developers. Since it's distributed as a downloadable software package, it does require that users be comfortable installing Drupal on a web server. Effective use of the Drupal kit also requires knowledge of Drupal site administration and site building skills. For non-technical users with no experience with Drupal, we are recommending that they wait for the Managed CMS service, which is currently scheduled to launch in June of 2016. So the benefits of the UT Drupal kit are that it aims to simplify development of campus websites, standardize the university brand templates, and improve accessibility compliance, all while allowing developers to retain control over customization. This standardized distribution model that we follow also allows ITS to coordinate the release of new versions of the kit to incorporate updates to Drupal core and the bundled modules. The UT Drupal kit does not provide any what I would call use case specific page templates. Examples of these might include faculty profiles, events, news, or blogs. The Drupal kit also does not provide any form of automatic update service. While ITS will be coordinating the release of new versions of the kit, site owners are still responsible for actually keeping their site up to date by applying those new versions as they are released. Both of these features, use case specific page templates and a automatic updating service, will be available as part of the Managed CMS service, again scheduled to be available in June of 2016. The UT Drupal kit can be installed on any web server that meets the minimum system requirements for Drupal 7. This includes both UT Web and ITS managed virtual servers. Version 2 of the UT Drupal kit does require a minimum PHP version of 5.4, which is just slightly higher than the minimum for regular Drupal 7. We also strongly recommend, both for the UT Drupal kit and any version of Drupal really, the use of a PHP opcode cache, such as APC or Zend opcache. This option is available to be enabled on UT Web. The 40 acres theme, which is our implementation of the new UT templates, can be used just like any other Drupal theme. Use of the Page Builder module is not actually required. However, the theme is optimized for use with Page Builder. Without it, users will not be able to create the rich page layouts demonstrated in the university page templates. 40 acres and Page Builder work hand in hand to provide this functionality. For developers wishing to customize the 40 acres theme, they should follow the Drupal best practice of creating a sub-theme. We have provided documentation to guide developers in doing so. However, be aware that there are some limitations to how much a sub-theme of 40 acres could be customized while still supporting the features of the Page Builder module, as well as just the overall design. So version 1 of the UT Drupal kit is still available on the ITS website. Version 2 will be available on the ITS website in November 2015. We are recommending that any people getting ready to start new projects should wait for version 2 if possible. We have been exploring the upgrade path for version 1 sites up to version 2, and we will have something available to help people manage that upgrade, but it will not be a simple process. There's going to be some manual configuration changes that need to be made. So if it's at all possible to wait, we would encourage you to do so. So at this time, I'm going to hand it over to Mike Marcello, who's going to talk about the 40 acres theme. Hold on just one second.
All right, so let's take a look at the 40 Acres theme. The theme controls the look and feel of the site. It controls some of the content and configuration that's in the header and footer and the outputted HTML. So let's take a look at our theme configuration page. Now, before we do that, I just want to take a quick look at the page itself. And I'll go over some of the areas in the header and the footer where we have theme configurations. So the first one is for the main logo. And you can see right now I have an old logo on there. I'm going to show you how to update that to a new logo. The second area is this menu right here. These are header links. And we can either display these links or we can display social icons. Down in the footer, we have this text block right here. And I will show you how to configure this. And also some more social icons that can appear if we want them to underneath that text block. And over here we have a newsletter button, and I will show you how to configure that. Now, all of these things that I talked about can be configured right through the theme administration page. So let's go over there. Okay. So I'm going to upload a new logo, or actually, let me put it on the default logo. And there we go. So our primary logo has now been updated to the current UTexas logo. And you can see that it appears both in the header and the footer. So you update it in one place and it appears in both. Okay, so let's take a look at the header link menu. Okay, so that is this section right here. So we have the choice of either showing social links or the header menu. So let's set it to social links. And there, now we have our social links. And I'll show you in just a few minutes how to update your social accounts on here as well. Okay, so let's take a look at this section here, the parent entity. I forgot to mention this one before. So this is if you want to put, you know, the college of whatever, the school of whatever, you can put that right in here. So I'll put the College of Liberal Arts, and I'll put a website in. Let's save that. And now you can see the parent entity is right here above the main logo, and it's linked to the URL that I entered. And that also displays on the mobile menu. So the College of Liberal Arts. Okay, so that is the header section. Now let's take a look at some of the options that are available in the footer. So here you can see there is a text area where you can enter some custom text. And that is the block that corresponds to this right here. So you can put anything you like in there, any HTML. So you can see how that renders there. Now let's say we want to show our social links underneath that text. Just click this box. And there, we have our social links with the same accounts that are linked to from the social links in the header. And here is our newsletter button. So if you have a newsletter, click this button and enter a URL. If you don't have one, just leave it empty. And the button goes away. All right, so those are the options that are available through the theme administration page. A couple other things that I wanted to show you. First off were the social links, how we can enter our accounts for those. So we'll go to Configuration, Social Link Settings. And here are some default accounts. Now let's say you don't have a Google Plus account or a YouTube account. Let's delete a couple of these. There, and now the icons automatically disappear. And like I said, it's both in the header and in the footer. All right, next let's talk a little bit about the menu. There are three menus that you have control of here on the page. I'm just going to quickly set the header menu back to header menu and off of the social links. Okay, now let's go to the menu page. Okay, so we have our footer menu, our header menu, and our main menu. So here's our header menu. Here's our footer menu. And obviously here's the main menu. So you can control the links that are in any of these menus pretty easily just by adding or deleting links here. So I will delete a few links from here. And there, the two links are gone from our footer menu. So the main menu it's a responsive menu, and it is also keyboard accessible. So you can see the drop-downs here. And it is an option whether or not you want to have drop-downs, or if you want the top-level item to be a link or not. So that can easily be set in the configuration if you don't want it to be a link, and it's just a category or a title. So let's take a look at the mobile menu. So you can see here we have our main link, which is a link. Then we also have the drop-down, which is accessed this way. Now you'll notice this one here doesn't have an icon, and that's because the course directory menu item doesn't have a submenu. So it automatically will not display the caret if it doesn't have a submenu. And then up here we have our the parent institution, which is related to the Texas logo in the branded bar, and the parent entity, and then the site name itself. Okay, so whenever you're going to customize the theme, the best way to do it, and according to best practices, is to use a subtheme. So I've created a starter kit, which can easily be copied, and then with just a small bit of customization, you can use as your subtheme. So here I've created a subtheme off of the starter kit, and I will set that to my default. Okay, and you'll notice some of the settings changed because each subtheme has its own theme settings that are specific to that subtheme. So what I'll do now is add a little bit of CSS to my CSS file. I'll just change the color of A tags to blue. Okay, and let's see. Oh, I might need to clear the cache first. And there we go. So you have a lot of ability to customize the look of the site using just either CSS or the Sass that's available in the subtheme. And I think that concludes my section.
Okay, now we're going to hand it over to Mark Fulmer, who is a back-end developer who's been working on the page building functionality in this version of the Drupal kit. Go ahead.
Hi everyone, Mark Fulmer here, and I do primarily Drupal development for ITS. And if you have worked on a Drupal website or a WordPress website before, starting from scratch, you know that you basically have in WordPress the ability to add a post or a page, and in Drupal an article or a basic page. And those primarily consist of a title and a body area that provides formatted HTML. And while you can add other page elements on top of that, basically throughout the site, those elements are fixed within the layout of the page. Not so with the UT Drupal Kit. What we're looking at here is a standard page, and it includes a title, but after that the similarity of where you start from with a standard Drupal or WordPress site ends. And the way that these standard pages are composed are of bits or chunks of content, which we can call widgets. If we look at the page here on the left, we have what's called the promo unit widget. And this is composed of a chunk of different various pieces of content, an image, a title, body, and a link. And you can add multiple promo units within the promo unit widget. On the right is something kind of similar, the promo list, which is a kind of a list item thing with images, optional images, and it also includes a link and some body text. We go down the page, another widget is just a plain old WYSIWYG field, which you can add formatted HTML to. In this middle area, we see an edge-to-edge widget, which allows you to add a video and feature date-driven content with a link to that content. As we scroll down the page, there's other widgets that are available that have various names and various configurations. Social links can be added, a list of quick links, a contact form here on the right. Here's another WYSIWYG field with a table in it. So how does all of this content be added by a site builder? If we go into the Edit tab here, the first thing that you'll see is the title and then 8 page templates. And these templates, the key thing to keep in mind is that these are separated from the actual content that you add on a page. So at any point you can switch the layout of a page while still retaining the content. So we have right now one of the layouts selected, and then in the vertical tabs below we see where we can actually edit that content. So we'd seen the featured highlight, that edge-to-edge field, and here's where you can add the title for that, the video or image, a date if you want. I'll add a date, today's date, and you can also add the call to action. You can also configure some of the options within that. So I'll switch it to a light background style that we can see there. There's other vertical tabs that we see here. If we scroll through the WYSIWYG field, promo units, again, each of these have some configuration options built into them. So if I want to switch how the images are displayed to square style, I can do that here. And once you've made your changes, you save the page, and those configuration changes appear here. We see square images here. We see a light background on the featured highlight. So that shows the connection between the content entry and the display. But what it doesn't yet show is how you can assemble these pages in a variety of styles through those layouts. So what I'm going to do to demonstrate that is I'm going to go to a page that I created, basically a clone of this that has all the same content, but it hasn't been assigned to any of the regions on the page. And we have this Layout Editor tab, and that's where the magic happens. When you click on that, you can click on Edit, and it shows you, based on the layout that you've chosen, the template you've chosen, what regions are available on that page. I simply choose which region I want, and I have a list of which fields I can add. I can add the promo units, and that's how we got that promo unit field to show up on the page. You can also, in the sidebar, you can add some other widgets that we haven't shown yet. You have the ability to add a Twitter widget here, and let's see, I'll also show, on top of that, you can add sub-menu navigation that is composed from the main menu. I'll add that and then show how it works. This is basically just a navigation of sub-pages that correspond to part of the main menu. As you see here, the About section, which I configured this earlier, has these 4 items, and they correspond to here, but they also show sub-items beneath that. So for complex sites that have a lot of navigation, that's a useful tool here. There's also the UT newsreel, which pulls content from news.utexas.edu. I'm going to save that page layout, and we can see how that looks. And it's like that. But this also is very easily configurable to change things around. If I want, for example, I'm going to remove that. I want the tweets in the main content area, and I want the latest news in the sidebar area. I can just drag and drop those, and they are now positioned there and saved there. So given that we have a page with about 13 or 14 different widgets, and then we have 8 different layouts that you can choose from those. And then each of these different layouts have so many different regions. You see there's so much variability with how you can compose a single page. For example, this demonstrates the hero image layout, which includes a big splash image, and then you can add other content in other regions on the page. This one shows what's called the header with content and sidebars template, which allows you to just put any content in this main area and then have a sidebar area with content below the fold as well. Other variations, this shows just some regular text added in the main content area. Featured highlight shows that edge-to-edge region that I showed before, along with additional content. If you want simpler pages, that's possible too. This doesn't have any sidebar. It just has content that goes straight down the middle with the various widgets. If you just need a page that just has text, that's easily addable as well. What I've shown so far is just what's called the standard page content type. We also have the landing page content type, which has 3 additional layouts, and they have a few different options for displaying content that is typically more homepage style or splash content page for a large site that might need to subdivide its content. So one demonstration of the landing page layout includes this hero image here with text and a link, and then it has, again, various widgets beneath it. Another landing page layout looks like this, a different way of displaying the hero image, and then it has 3 featured images down below with a list of different quick links. And you can actually configure this background however you like. And then a final landing page layout to show is here, another way of doing a hero image, and this one has 4 featured links. And so you see a lot of variety that you have with these. Another thing, the last thing I'll point out with this is the ability to be able to swap out content very easily. On most sites, your home page is a very special item, and it's not easily changed or staged. With the UT Drupal Kit, you can find a page URL of a page that you've already created, and then just very easily assign it as the home page. So I'm going into the configuration here. Before I do that, if I click Home, the home page is currently assigned to this page. And I go to Configuration, Site Information, and then I change the default front page, more or less the home page, to that URL of this other page that I created. And I save that. Now when we go to the home page, we have now assigned that as our home page. So it's very easy to move around the content on a page-by-page basis, and then on sort of a site architecture basis as well. I'll now turn it over to Paul Grodevant to finish up with some additional features of the UT Drupal Kit and also the Managed CMS offering.
Thanks, Mark. Let me just switch back to my slides quickly. So we've given you a quick, but hopefully pretty full-featured overview of what UT Drupal Kit 2.0 is going to look like. Some additional features that are going to be included that we did not demonstrate today. There's a custom module that we've created for adding the Google Tag Manager snippet to your pages, which is sort of the next generation of Google Analytics that we're encouraging people to adopt. We have a little bit of customization to allow Drupal's node clone module to work with the page builder and the page layouts. Mark demonstrated that for you when he cloned a page and then was able to go in and lay out the content on that cloned page in a unique way. We also have support for node revisioning with the page builder pages. So a standard page, you can track the differences between all the fields on 2 different revisions of a page builder page. We will still be including the UT login module, which again allows authentication on a Drupal site using the web policy agent on campus servers that can support that. For those who are interested in this kind of thing, we also wanted to let everyone know that there's a full suite of functional test coverage on the UT Drupal Kit using BHAT, which is a behavioral development test framework. And we also are certifying that all of our custom code has been reviewed for compliance with the Drupal coding standard. So if you are a stickler for making sure that your Drupal sites conform to all the particular recommendations of the Drupal coding standard, you can be assured that we are doing the same. So now I just want to quickly touch on the future service that I mentioned several times in the first part of the presentation, which is Managed CMS. Managed CMS is going to be built on the same distribution as the UT Drupal Kit. However, it's going to have some additional features that come by virtue of it being more of a managed service. And so we're going to have managed configuration options. A lot of the configuration that you have to do with a Drupal site just out of the box, we're going to be pre-configuring a lot of the common options and then making sure that those configuration options stay set over the life of the site. We're going to be including some more specific page types. These are those use case specific page types that I mentioned earlier, such as faculty profiles, events, course listings, news articles. We hope to also make those page types available as freestanding downloads that UT Drupal Kit site owners will be able to add to their sites, but we do not plan on making those a part of the UT Drupal Kit distribution in the future. Managed CMS will be hosted on a vendor cloud hosting platform. There's currently a request for proposals out for that platform, and those will be coming back and evaluated later this year. And again, as I mentioned earlier, we will be offering automatic updates on managed CMS sites. So managed CMS site owners will not need to worry about when's the next version of Drupal core coming out, or is there a security update available for one of my modules. All of that will be under control. Now, with all of those things will come less opportunity to customize. And so by customize, I mean if you're accustomed to being a Drupal site owner and having access to be able to create or customize content types, or to be able to create and customize views, those are things that you will not have access to as part of the Managed CMS service. There will be some ability to add custom content types and views available, but that will be strictly through contract engagements with the Web and Contract Services team, because we need for configurations like that to be fit into this completely managed framework that we're creating for the service. Some of the specific features in terms of configuration, again, we're talking about pre-configured and managed roles and permissions, pre-configured and managed meta tag configuration to make sure your HTML markup is outputting the meta tags that you need for search engine optimization, and then the additional page types we've talked about, like faculty profiles, events, news articles, blog posts. So I'm just going to wrap up with a quick side-by-side comparison of the UT Drupal Kit 2 and Managed CMS as we look forward to these two new options. As you see, both will come with the 40 acres theme, the page builder module, the standard page content type, which includes 8 base templates, the landing page content type, which includes 3 base templates. But when we start talking about features such as additional page types, the cloud hosting model, developer tools such as a continuous integration suite, and automatic updates, those are things that are only going to be available on the Managed CMS service. Whereas the final row, we say the ability to customize, that is going to be a feature of UT Drupal Kit, that is not really available to manage CMS. So that concludes our presentation. I hope that this has provided a useful overview of the UT Drupal Kit 2.0 and the 40 acres theme and the page builder module. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me. Again, my name is Paul Gerdevant, and my email is pfg@utexas.edu. And we will look forward to putting out additional updates as we get closer to the launch of UT Drupal Kit 2.0 in November. Thank you very much.